Look, I'm about to get more real with y'all than I ever have before. I'm really sick and tired of seeing this new trend on TikTok, on all kind of social media platforms, where people are claiming to be woke about some stuff that was already talked about 2,000 years ago. Like, they delivering some news to you that Christ or the Bible hadn't already proclaimed. And the current trend is people so-called waking up to the fact that why do we have to pay for lights? Why are we paying for air? Why are we paying for things that no man made on this earth? Why are we paying for electricity? Why are we paying for water? And this right here is why I love to believe in the word of God, why I believe in God 100%, because everything that they're saying has already been said, has already been forewarned. If you would just open up that book, open up that Bible, first of all, let's not even talk about having a complete relationship with God. Let's just start with opening up the Bible and reading for yourself and not out of past hurts and trauma. Read the Bible in Romans 13:8. It says, "Owe no man nothing." And it would seem like that is common sense, but from the beginning of time, man has always found a way to put himself in a bind, to put himself into bondage, to put himself in restraints. And then there have always been this group of people who have always wanted to take God's glory and lord over man, to enslave other men. That's just been in our nature since the beginning. So you got to understand, these people, this certain group of people have found a way and finagled a way for the masses of people to actually work for them, to actually go out here and work hard for them, to owe them money. So while this small group of people have figured out a way to lord over this mass of people and get them to buy into the American dream, or a man don't work, don't eat kind of philosophy, while they play on our insecurities and fears of we're not going to make it and we got to pay these bills and we got all of these things going on and these fears of wars and rumors of wars. Got us out here paying for bottled water, fruit that grows on trees that no man can take claim to that they're growing, electricity, somebody discovered it, they didn't create it, so now we got to pay somebody to have lights in our house. And trust me, it goes way deeper than that. But this system that we're living in, that some man tries to tax you and bill you in order for you to live like there's a cost of living when they did not divinely give you life. Trust me, it runs super deep. But like I said, don't act like the Bible did not already tell us these things. Owe no man nothing. We don't owe a man anything for the things that God created. And every man was divinely created in the image of God. I owe no man nothing. I don't care what your bill says that I owe on this earth. When I leave, it's just going to be a owed debt. I don't owe you anything. You got a large group of people listening to a small group of people who swear that they have control and power over us and bill us, even to the point of when you die, we gonna pass this debt on to your family. I tell my family all the time, when I die, if I die upon my demise, treat them folks like y'all treated Rent-A-Center, and when they knock on the door, act like you ain't there. Treat them folks like you did Rent-A-Center and give them a fake name and social security number and take all the stuff you can get and don't pay them nothing. Because they found a way to legitimately benefit off every facet of a man and woman's life. From the time you enter this world, they put a stamp on you so they can ID you, so they can know where you are, so they can keep track of you, because they want to tax you the whole way. There's nothing you ever own on this earth. Naked you came in, and when you leave, you gonna be butt naked. Even the suit that you put on, they gonna get the worms, gonna eat off that and tax off that. Nothing that you have on this earth will you be able to take with you. And the same note, you came in here with none of it in the first place. In the Bible that I read, it says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. There was nothing created unless it was created by him. So that means to me, even if a man creates something, you owe it all to God. It all came from God as the source. And there's a very clear difference between religion and a person who follows God. There's a difference between a religious person and a person who follows God. And I hate the way religions get confused. People who really follow God get confused with religious people. And let me tell you what I mean. You see, while diving down this rabbit hole of this new peak critical state of awareness where everybody is waking up, I started diving deeper down that rabbit hole. And I said, where did this all start? Because what I read in the Bible is from the very beginning, when God chose his people in Israel, he always wanted to separate them. He separated them and caused them to have their own army of over 650,000. He separated them and had their own doctors and their own priests and all of this stuff like this. He was making them a holy nation to be separate from everybody else. He was always trying to separate his people out of this world. But oh, no. Those are religious folk. Them religious people, the ones now who will tell you your vote has power. Get out here and vote because voting makes a difference. Them the same kind of people you're going to find in, you see in 1 Samuel, the people of Israel asked the prophet Samuel for a king. They was led by their elders to ask the prophet Samuel for a king to lead them like the other nations had somebody to lead them on earth. And in that point, they were rejecting the overall rule of God. Instead of being ruled by God and being separate and not having to participate in the rest of that buffoonery and silliness that everybody else was doing in the world, they said, no, give us a king just like the other folks got a king. And so God warns them through the prophet Samuel that the king would have oppressive demands. This one more time for the people in the back. The king would have oppressive demands, i.e. taxes, forced labor, constriction. If you don't know what that means, you need to look it up. So the people, instead of being led directly under the thumb and the rule of God, chose to have an earthly king. And God forewarned them that if you get a fleshly king, if you get somebody in human form, if you let another man lead you, not only will he lead you, but he will have oppressive demands. He's going to tax you. He's going to give you forced labor. Yeah, forced labor, taxes. You got to pay this man taxes, huh? You got to pay him taxes when God was saying give freely. When God asks you to do it, it's such a problem. But when a man asks you to do it, you run and do it, and now you're oppressed by it. Forced labor. You got so many people out here now, like, why I got to work just to live? Why I gotta work just to make it? And then when I'm working, it's like I'm working all day long and barely making it to the next day. I'm barely making it to the next check. I'm one check away from getting out. That's forced labor. You're never out of the hole. You're never done. You're never free of bills and debt. And while God had created their own army and was going before them and fighting their battles for them, they said they want a king to represent them in battle. But anytime you got a man on you, I got news for y'all. You're going to be fighting wars for that man. You're going to be fighting wars for that country and what they feel like is best for them. Not what's best for the people, but what's best for them. And God forewarned us. So anytime these people get on there talking about they awake now, they awake. Man, how can you be awake about something that was already foretold thousands of years ago? It's just a shame that you won't even open the book to see. I don't owe no man nothing but to love them with the love of God. You understand what I'm saying? So if you talking about waking up, all you got to do is open that book without prejudice, without bias, without confusing people who follow God for religious people. Because religious folks is the same what people thinking they going to vote for some kind of man and the man is going to change something. They the same folks believing in the dog and pony system that you actually have a choice in America. In reality, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. They set two candidates in front of you. Huh? They set two candidates in front of you. They already know who's going to win. But they realized a long time ago they don't actually have to give you a choice, just the illusion of having a choice. Because with the illusion of having a choice comes some kind of illusion of freedom when you can clearly see that you haven't been free for a very, very long time.